Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to give you some tips for the combat shotgun in Fortnite. Often when I'm streaming, people ask me how I get such consistent damage out of this weapon, and they say like they're just so unlucky when it comes to the combat shotgun. So make sure you watch this video because I'm going to explain how I like to use it and how I get such consistent damage out of it. And if you're a controller player, you're going to want to watch the entire thing because I'm going to show you guys how absurd aim assist is with this weapon and how you can use that to enhance your experience while using it. If you enjoy this video, remember to give it a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. And now let's get right into the tips. With this weapon, it has very good range and consistent damage. At that range, it doesn't fall off as hard as some of the other shotguns have in the past. And that makes it a weapon that's really good at playing around high ground. Because it doesn't matter if you're 3 levels above the opponent and you start shooting at down at them, you're still going to hit for a good amount of damage more often than not. And this makes it really good for those types of fights. So I think when you're using this shotgun, it's best to just play around positioning and try to have better positioning than the opponent at all times. If you just try to jump on an opponent like you would with a pump and like one pump them, it's probably not going to work out for you. You might still get the kill, but a lot of times it's just going to be a very random fight because unless the opponent is very weak, you're probably going to need to shoot them multiple times. And in that time, they can get damage on you. They can put traps down. Lots of different things can happen. So I think it's best just to keep high ground, try to stay above your opponents if you can. Even in playing low ground with this weapon is quite good just because of how accurate and consistent the range is. But just try to play around cover well. You'll see the clips in this video. Just watch how I use this weapon. I'm often peeking in and out of cover. When you have high ground, one of the best things about this weapon is just the way a lot of players build is they try to do 90s to get back up to you. And if you're already above them when they do 90s, their head is going to be in clear view of you. And you could just spam out headshots really, really, really fast. So that's how I like to play with this weapon. Don't try to go like all in like you would with a pump. Just play it safe, play around positioning, and if you consistently outposition the opponent and chip in damage when you can, you're going to do well with this shotgun. I think another thing that a lot of players struggle with this shotgun is just shooting it constantly. It has quite a high fire rate, so just spam this weapon. Shoot it as fast as you can. I see a lot of players shoot it and then switch to an SMG like they would with a pump, or they shoot it and they're like a bit slow at realizing that they can shoot it again. It's one thing to like aim and hit your shots and make sure you're not just wasting time shooting out like 3 shots and only hitting 1. But don't be so slow that you're losing out on like potential damage. Just spam out shots as quick as you can still be accurate, I guess would be the way to say that. And you don't necessarily need to switch to your SMG as much as you would with something like a pump. With this gun, I typically try to shoot and reposition, or depending on the fight, if I'm like above them, just shoot and spam out shotgun shots is going to be better damage than if you switch to your SMG. One thing that a lot of players do, like I said, is they switch to their SMG and then they stay on that. So they get one shotgun shot. Let's say it hits for like 80. That would be like an okay shot for the combat shotgun. Not too bad, not too good either. It's just kind of there. They hit for 80 and then they switch to the SMG, and then the opponent just stays out of shotgun and like and eventually eliminates them. And then they like rage at the combat shotgun like, oh, it's so weak. But in reality, if they just stayed on the shotgun and just shotgunned the person the entire time, or repositioned and built and did things of that nature, they would have a better time. If you play on controller, one thing that's very important with this shotgun is the ADS spam. If you guys know about ADS spam it's typically with assault rifles. People didn't do it with shotguns as much, but this shotgun, it actually works out really well. I'm going to have some gameplay of creative on screen right now. You can look at this and I'm not adjusting the right analog stick at all to get on target. The only time I'm touching the right analog stick is to get off target, to reset it, just to show how good the ADS snapping is on this weapon. Basically, if your crosshair is on the opponent at all, and you tap left trigger before you shoot, you're going to lock onto the opponent for a brief moment. It doesn't like track for you. It looks really good here because the bot is standing still. But basically, you just want to tap left trigger right before you shoot pretty much every time with this shotgun, and you're going to hit a majority of your shots. Even if your aim wasn't that great to begin with, as long as your crosshair is on them, it seems, it'll lock on, it'll like snap to them. It'll snap the dot onto them, I should say. That's a better way to say that. The dot is where a majority of your damage is going to go. So if you just clip someone with the edge of your reticle, you're going to get very poor damage. But if the dot is on them, you're likely going to get good damage, especially with this shotgun that has a really tight spread. So if the edge of your crosshair is on the opponent at all, just tap left trigger and it'll put the dot on them. And if you shoot like pretty much just milliseconds after you tap left trigger as you use the weapon, you'll get a good feel for it. You'll pretty much hit good damage every time with this shotgun. You'll notice in a lot of these clips, I'm just spamming LT right before I shoot every time. And a lot of players, at least controller players, this is a controller player specific thing, a lot of good controller players are doing this. If you watch people like Upshaw, Gronky, in a sense, any good controller player is probably taking advantage of this mechanic when using the combat shotgun. So if you play on controller, get in the habit of tapping the ADS button before you shoot this shotgun. Get that timing down, and you'll be very good with the shotgun. Couple that with getting used to just the fire rate of this weapon on its own. Getting both of those timings down, getting both of them good will make you very deadly with this weapon. Like I said before, focus on your positioning. Don't try to just barrel stuff somebody with the shotgun hoping that you're going to hit 200. You're not. It doesn't hit 200. The only time you're going to one-tap somebody with this shotgun is if they're already weak. So keep that in mind. If you already have someone weak, you can maybe make that play because it'll end the fight pretty quickly for you. But a lot of times, just keep your positioning, keep your high ground, chip in your damage when you can, and you're going to be very effective with this weapon. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, please do remember to give it a like rating and subscribe if you would like to see more. I live stream Fortnite on Twitch now. I used to live stream on YouTube, but I live stream on Twitch. So follow me on Twitch. It'll be linked down in the description. And I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching. Dang it. There we go.